Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Code Clarity podcast. I'm Rena.
And I'm Jean. So Rena, there was a recent case that I read, and we actually presented at our case awareness collection. And it was a member of the public or a patient that had complained about some articles they'd seen in the media. But I'm not going to go into what the actual complaint was. What really made me think when I was reading through this case was, how easy is it for members of the public or even healthcare professionals that have no kind of awareness of pharma or choose not to interact with pharma, how easy is it for them to understand how to complain and what the complaints process is? And the reason that I said that is because I actually felt quite sorry for this complainant. They said, there was very general nature of the allegations, but it's the complainant has to be responsible for establishing their case, not for the panel to infer reasons on behalf of the complainant. And then what happened in this case was they had the complaint, had the response, and it was only when the complainant received the case report that they then were able to go back and they did appeal the ruling, because they went back and said, oh, right, now I know what you're talking about. Now I can use this language back at you. I do think it's a breach of 6.1, and I do, because they just didn't have the knowledge beforehand.
And actually, if you look at the complaints form on the PMCPA website, there's nothing on that to say you've got to allege everything now and you can't bring up anything new during an appeal. And I mean, oh my God, now we've got news this week, Jean, that 3 out of the 4 new hires at the PMCPA are lawyers. So it's going to be very much like going to court without a solicitor to guide you on the process. And it doesn't feel right, does it? And I think let's try and move on to, we could rant all day. Let's try and move on to solutions, right? So what are you saying could be one of the solutions?
Well, I think there's a few things to consider, isn't it? Is there a way that the PMCPA can make the complaints process easier for the public, and then they may get more complaints? I mean, let's face it, the big clause 2 is bringing disrepute to the industry, and that's not just us inside the industry, that should be everybody, the public as well.
What do you mean, like the public as well? You mean like clause 2 should apply to the public?
No. What I mean is that we should be thinking about if our concern is bringing disrepute to the industry, then it's not just disrepute in our club where we all know each other, we all know what's going on. It should be for the general public to understand the reputation of the industry.
So that's interesting, because they're only published in medical press, but maybe the sanction should be that it's published in consumer press.
Yeah.
And let the public see that. That would be really interesting. I mean, they put it on the public website. Maybe the second solution is not just kind of making it easier for more complaints, but making it clearer so we have better complaints. So what I mean there is, like, your good example of that case. We'll put the case ruling in the description as well, the case number. It just really illustrates that a lot of time has been wasted with the toing and froing. And when the PMCPA then complain about their workload, it's quite easy for us to say, well, you could have done all that better if your form was clearer, right?
Or even if the code of practice itself was clearer. You know, we've spoken before about the readability of the code of practice, and again, us as experts who've worked with it for years sometimes struggle, and you read the sentence over and over again to try and understand what exactly they're trying to mean or trying to get at. How is a member of the public supposed to log onto the website, read through the entire code in order to understand what clauses they are alleging might have happened? They just want to say, I'm not happy with this behaviour.
Yeah. Should it go through some readability testing, like patient information leaflets? Yes. Great point. And then the overall and the last bit is just this point around fairness, right? It just feels like a very unfair system to a patient or a member of the public. And that is essentially what the code and self-regulation is about, surely.
Yes. Well, it's back to the first point, I mean, isn't it? It's the reputation of industry, it's the public's opinion of us, not just us internally going, oh, you're very good, and oh, you're not so good. It's how the industry is seen externally.
And we forget, like, trust in us is trust in our medicines, and therefore trust in their treatment. So it's got bigger connotations. Anyway, thank you very much, Jean.
All right, thanks, Rena. Bye.
Bye.